Alright, today I'm going to start my probably 4 or 5 part video series on freedom. And what freedom really is and what it isn't, and what we have as far as freedom goes. I think today what I'm going to do is freedom and morality. And where the two often clash, and the two really don't coincide a lot if you get down to what we view as morality in the United States here. So we're going to start with just the definition of freedom and what is freedom. Well, I don't have the Webster's definition of freedom, but truly freedom would be something that can't be infringed on. It can't be legislated against. There can be no rules against it. There can be nothing to stop it. And if you really think about that definition and what freedom truly is, we really don't have any in this country. Or any country for that matter. No one really has true freedom. I would say except maybe some kind of tribalistic communities in Africa or South American jungles or something that just don't, they're off the grid. They don't even count as far as, some kind of census number would go or something. They just do whatever they want to do. And that's real freedom. And I believe even they have tribal laws and councils and things like that. But true freedom just is just uninhibited action, no matter what it is. In this country, in America, we have no freedom. There is none. You have privilege. That's it. There is no freedom of speech because your speech is infringed. There are laws governing what you can truly do with your speech. I can't just go out there and say some things. Some things you just cannot say. And it's not even the fire in a movie theater or inciting a riot, things like that. You cannot promote sedition. You cannot be a spy or speak freely to enemies. You can't speak of treason or put into act treason through your speech. Nothing like that. So we have no freedom of speech. We have a privilege of speech that most speech is protected, but not all. Morality comes into freedom with things like the Ten Commandments or our laws, which really, if there was true freedom, there would be no laws. There would be some absolute ability to do whatever you want, no matter what it was. And we do not have that. Anyone who really knows me well knows that I follow no religion. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in anything. But I still don't do things that I find irresponsible or reprehensible myself. And I don't need some governing body to tell me what's moral. Truthfully, if I was to live in true freedom, I would kill, rape, steal, do whatever I wanted all the time, as much as I want. And I already do that. I kill, I rape, I steal as much as I want. And that's zero. I don't want to. I have no want or need to do that. So that's, I do live in freedom that way because, honestly, I don't want to do it. I don't live in freedom because even if I did want to do it, there are laws against it. As far more morality goes with religion and things like that, I live in absolute sin according to most religion. I have premarital sex. I party. I smoke and drink. I do things that some people find immoral. I don't believe them to be immoral myself just because my morals are very simple. I believe do whatever you want as long as you don't stop anybody else from doing what they want. That's the way I live my life. And The only time I ever stop anybody from doing what they want is if they stop me or try to stop me from doing what I want. Then I will stop them. But I believe that's only just and fair. But morality is perceived. It isn't something that's tangible. Morality is something that is simply in the eye of the beholder. There is no standard for morality other than what religion shows us. Why is it exactly immoral for a woman to sleep with 20 different men? Why is it immoral? What makes that activity immoral? Why is it immoral for a prostitute to sell her body? Why are there laws against that? Since when does it affect anyone to enter into a deal with money between two consenting adults to have sex? What does it hurt? When is it immoral to do a drug or a mind-altering substance? Where is the line drawn with these morals, and why do we have them? Why is it that we can't live as we choose freely until we infringe on someone else? If a person wants to sit in their house and shoot dope, who am I to pass judgment on what they want for their life? If that's the road they choose to go down, it is no concern of mine. The problem we face as a society is a fear that immoral freedom will taint our children and cause absolute anarchy. I believe in the inherent goodness of people. I believe people will govern themselves if given the chance. I don't believe that allowing people to do drugs and things like that will become some rampant monstrous problem, because there are real consequences. The consequences of actions just in your life should be enough to stop you above the consequences that some moral authority can pass down. And if you choose to take part in these activities, the consequences will be real. You will face them hard, and you will suffer for what you've done. Take a look at the regular street addict, a junkie, or some crackhead, or anything else. We prop them up with systems like welfare a lot. We fight a war on drugs, which is aimed more at marijuana than it is at any other hard street drug. We feel almost bad for people that are homeless, that have put themselves there through their own actions. And we don't allow them to face the consequences of their own situation and their own decisions. Instead, we give them these pseudo consequences of prison terms for things where we have no moral authority to pass judgment down on. We send people to prison for smoking marijuana. We send people to prison for shooting dope. We send people to prison for even being drunk in public, even though they aren't being disorderly. Who are we to pass this moral judgment? Why do we feel that it is necessary to our society to save these people from their own actions? Some people say it causes violence. It only causes violence because you push it into the underground. Because you push it below level and allow con men and scam artists to control it. And these seedy characters then cause the violence. The addicts themselves, if they weren't shoved into the underground, wouldn't cause the violence. And these addicts themselves, if not propped up by government programs, would either A, perish in their addiction, which is their own choice, or B, want to live a better life if we allowed them. Now, this is opinion, but I don't know how anyone can deny this. Benjamin Franklin said for us to make people uncomfortable in their poverty, and they would right themselves for a better life. Now, going off the track of drug morality and things like that, which has always been one of my biggest moral pet peeves. Another thing that bothers me is sexual immorality, or as it's conceived. When Republicans or conservatives go on a rant about defense of marriage, I don't understand it. I can never understand it. Now, as I said on my Facebook, this wouldn't be political, and it's not, but these groups do have their own stances on things, so I'm just calling them out, but I am not picking a certain political side to simply stick with. It goes on both ends. So when these groups, Christian groups, or these moral people who find themselves to sit in moral authority to judge other human beings, cite things like the Defense of Marriage Act or defense of marriage as a reason to not allow gay marriage. The only thing that is a thinly veiled cover for blatant fear and bigotry. Nothing more. And it doesn't matter who you are, you can't deny that. These people love each other. They want to be married. They want to do their own thing. Who are we to sit in moral judgment of what is right or wrong between two people that want to love each other? Why is it our business what happens in their bedroom? Why are there sodomy laws still in our country that can still be enforced? If people want to do whatever they want to do in their bedroom, that is none of our business. No matter what. And I'm talking across the board. I'm talking adultery. I'm talking homosexuality. I'm talking anything other than pedophilia. Because pedophilia is always rape. No child wants an adult to touch them or have sex with them because they don't have the mental capacity to really understand what's going on, and it destroys them at a young age and at a level that can only be measured later on in their life. That being said, just 100 years ago, 30-year-old men were marrying 15-year-old women because it was acceptable, because these women were old enough to breed. So we said to ourselves, if just the same as in our animals, if these, beings are old enough to breed and have families and stuff, then that's fine. Now we take a different stance on it. Sometimes I understand it, sometimes I don't, but it is what it is. Other than pedophilia, there is no act of sex, I should say, other than pedophilia or rape, but that I just always assume it goes without saying. But other than pedophilia or rape, there is no sex act that any human being can sit in moral judgment over another. Rightfully so. You can't sit in judgment of another human being based on your morality. Your morality is yours. You stick to it. My morality is mine, I stick to it. Their morality is theirs, they stick to it. Morality and freedom go hand in hand. Morality destroys freedom. When it comes to music, TV, video games, media of any kind, no human being can censor that, or should be able to, based on their morals. If you find it immoral, don't look at it. Don't listen to it. Don't watch it. If you find your kids listening to it, looking at it, watching it, well, guess what? Take better care of your kids. But you can't blame some artist like Marilyn Manson or whoever for the woes of your child. The woes of your child can be put solely on you. Nudity on TV, cursing, obscenities, whatever. I understand disclaimers, but that's about as far as it should go. There should be no FCC. That is overreaching into freedom. That is where morality and freedom cross, and it is wrong. It destroys freedom. Morality always does. There is no reason that there cannot be blatant pornography on regular TV. But we don't live in freedom. We live in a stigmatized culture of defined morality based upon religion and shame. We choose to think that the government or other people know what's best for us. We forget that people who do drugs or people who want to screw their life up that way, we forget that they have the freedom to fail. We should let them fail. Give them real freedom. Let them suffer. If it doesn't kill them, it will only teach them a lesson. We do not have to prop them up. See, freedom's dangerous. Freedom's deadly. Freedom's bloody and tragic. But the opposite of freedom is slavery. And when you're not living in freedom, you're living in slavery. There's no in between, really. And as of now, our country is enslaved to laws based on Stone Age superstition and ancient mysticism. Granted, the laws, most of them are just good rules to follow. And most humans are born with the morality already into them that most of these laws try to force. Nobody just wants to go out and kill people for no reason, unless they're insane. But that's for another video. The last thing where I tie freedom to morality is with, it goes with sexuality, it goes with religion, it goes with almost all the above, is with abortion. See, a lot of people think that denying abortion will be denying the freedom of that human being and the freedom of their body. I look at it a different way. I think the freedom of your body was when you chose to have unprotected sex. The freedom of your body is when you chose to make adult decisions. If you didn't want a child, use birth control. Or don't have sex at all. You know the cause of it. You know the danger. But when you willingly enter into a risky activity, you are giving up some of your freedom for what the outcome and the consequence is. So if we were truly free, the only time abortion would be acceptable is when it infringes on a person's right to truly live free themselves, which would be rape, incest, mother of life, the life of the mother, life of the child, things like that. But elective abortions are not freedom. They destroy it. They destroy the freedom of a life that could have lived. I am not a Bible-thumping, anti-abortion nutcase. I just believe in the freedom of the individual. And to me, the person that is being killed was an individual. And that's where, again, it's not a moral view for me. It's really not. It's more of a freedom view when it comes to it. It's more of a view that that person had a right to live and a right to pursue their own happiness as they chose. And you are robbing them of that because you don't want to face the consequences of your adult actions that you entered into freely. So, freedom is pain. It's bloody, and it's scary. But give me blood-soaked freedom over slavery any day. I'll take it. I guess to sum it all up, the way I look at it is, your morality is your own. It's your freedom to choose what your morality is and to live freely in it. If you choose to believe in a religion, good. I do not judge you. I don't begrudge you that. That is your choice. But what you can't do is take those of us who choose not to live in it and call us immoral or unjust because we don't believe in what you do. You need to give us our freedom to live without your religion and aside from it. And your morality is always going to be your own. And the only way for us to slowly get back freedom in this country and to slowly regain what we really should be, which is a free and prosperous great people, is to really live under one rule. And that is, your morals are your own, so do with them what you will. But never pass judgment on another human for not having the same morals as you, as long as he is not stopping you from living your morals freely. And I think that about sums it up. I think tomorrow I'm going to get into more in-depth talk about actual freedom and rights and liberty away from morality, but I thought covering the morality end first was important. So that's it. And please feel free to respond, ask questions, prove me wrong, deny me, tell me I'm wrong. Ask me questions, let me answer. Because if we can't admit we're wrong, we never learn.